All right, so tech giant IBM just dropped a pretty huge announcement. And it looks like they're building a serious bridge between the old school world of finance and the new frontier of crypto and digital assets. Let's dive in and figure out what this all really means. But first, let's back up for a second. We've all seen this explosion in digital assets, right? But have you ever wondered why the really big players, we're talking major banks, governments, have been kind of hesitant? Why haven't they just jumped in with both feet? What's been holding them back? So that brings us right here, to this meeting point between traditional finance and the digital frontier. And it sets up this incredible tension. On one side, you have this wild, booming, innovative digital economy. And on the other, you have the super cautious, heavily regulated world of big finance, just kind of peering over the edge, wondering if it's safe. I mean, the opportunity is just massive. We're talking about the whole shebang: cryptocurrencies, tokenized assets, which are basically digital versions of things like art or real estate, and stablecoins, which are becoming a game changer for payments around the world. But the institutions that handle, most of the planet's money, they've mostly been watching from the sidelines. So what gives? What's the holdup? Well, it's definitely not a lack of interest. The problem is, for these big institutions, the whole digital asset space looks like a minefield of really, really high-stakes problems. Let's unpack what's been called the institutional dilemma. The source material we're looking at calls it a tricky and complex landscape, and honestly, that feels like a bit of an understatement. The risks are huge, and the rulebook is still being written in real time. So what does this minefield actually look like on the ground? Well, it really boils down to 4 huge roadblocks. First, you've got massive security risks. Then you're trying to navigate this tangled web of regulatory hurdles that changes all the time. On top of that, there's the technical headache of dealing with dozens of different blockchains. And finally, you have these super strict compliance rules you have to meet. It's a lot. And this right here is precisely where IBM is stepping into the ring. They've just announced a brand new platform that is custom built to solve these exact problems. It's called the IBM Digital Asset Haven. So what is it? Think of it like a super secure, all-in-one command center for a bank or a government. It's one single platform that lets them manage the entire lifecycle of a digital asset, from keeping it safe in custody all the way to final settlement, all inside one protected, unified environment. This slide really lays it all out, doesn't it? It shows the move away from juggling a bunch of complicated, high-risk systems to having one single unified platform. And it's backed by IBM's reputation for security and reliability, with all the compliance stuff built right in from the start. That's a huge shift in how these institutions can manage risk. Now, IBM was smart about this. They didn't go it alone. They partnered up with a company called Dfns, who are a major leader in digital wallet infrastructure. So you're getting this powerful combination of IBM's deep enterprise security expertise and Dfns' specialized crypto know-how. And to give you an idea of who Dfns is, they've already created 15 million wallets. 15 million for over 250 clients. So yeah, we're not talking about some tiny startup here. These guys have a serious track record. Okay, so we know what it is and why it exists. Now for the fun part. How does this thing actually work? Let's pop the hood and take a look inside. The whole platform is basically built on 4 key pillars. First, it handles all the transaction management, automating and keeping an eye on everything. Second is governance, which is all about setting the rules for who can do what. Third, it plugs into all the essential services for things like KYC, which is Know Your Customer, and AML, or anti-money laundering checks. And finally, number 4, it provides top-to-bottom security for the cryptographic keys and the assets themselves. And this next number is pretty wild. The platform is designed to be flexible. It's not locked into just Bitcoin or Ethereum. It supports over 40 different blockchains, both public and private. That gives institutions a ton of freedom to work with a huge range of digital assets. The platform also has support for something called cold storage. And this term is absolutely crucial. All it means is keeping the crypto keys, the digital passwords to the money, completely offline, totally disconnected from the internet. It's like putting your gold in a Swiss bank vault instead of leaving it on your desk. It's the highest level of security, and it's what regulators love to see. Now let's just geek out on the security for a second, because it's seriously impressive. We're talking multiple layers. They use advanced tech like multi-party computation, which means no single person ever has full control. It uses special hardware for physical protection. At its core is IBM's own offline signing system, and it even offers guidance to be ready for quantum computers that could break today's encryption. This is the definition of institutional-grade security. So, when you take a step back and look at the big picture, what does this all add up to? Well, this isn't just another product. IBM and Dfns are positioning this as the bridge, the one we've been hearing about for years, that's finally going to connect the massive world of traditional finance with the new digital economy. And don't just take my word for it. Here's a quote from Tom McPherson, a general manager at IBM. He says this is about delivering the security and control that clients have been asking for so they can go out and build the next generation of finance. And the CEO of their partner, Dfns, Clarice Hegege, she really hammers the point home. She says this is about paving the way for digital assets to move from pilot programs to production at a global scale. That's a powerful statement. So, at the end of the day, the mission here is crystal clear. It's all about tearing down the barriers that have kept the big money on the sidelines. The goal is to turn all this cautious exploration of digital assets into real, live, global production. Which, of course, leaves us with one massive question. With a heavyweight like IBM stepping in to provide the security, the compliance, and the infrastructure that banks and governments need, could this be it? Could this be the tipping point we've all been waiting for? Is this the moment digital assets finally truly go mainstream?